church. Sometimes I get stoned in my backyard, lay off in the tall grass so my view is the stars. I think about nothing, get to clear my thoughts from all the thunder and lightning, so I feel a spark. Sometimes I get higher than the Colorado Rockies, hoping that the county sheriff don't stop me. Like Charlie Daniels said, you shouldn't smoke at dough, but damn it, I can't help I love Rolling Stone. With the windows rolled down and the radio up, sweet tea full in my solo cup, listening to the humming of the 44, sounding like a concert. I'm a beat up door, arm hanging out the window, smiling away, smoking on some ground where the cattle graze. Charlie Daniels said you shouldn't go smoke at dough. Hell, I can't help I love Rolling Stone. Yeah, I love Rolling Stone. Smoke rolling round the cab with the dome light on, looking like a stage for a Leonard Skinner song. Hanging out with Mary Jane, but she's making the time go slow. Making memories with my buddies through the thick green smoke, puff passing out the windows of my old Tahoe. Lifted so damn high I can't come down, driving under the speed limit in my town. With the windows rolled down and the radio up, sweet tea full in my solo cup, listening to the humming of the 44, sounding like a concert. I'm a beat up door, arm hanging out the window, smiling away, smoking on some ground where the cattle graze. Charlie Daniels said you shouldn't go smoke at dough. Hell, I can't help I love Rolling Stone.
I love that song. Good morning, everybody. Why did the chocolate chip cookie go to the doctor? Because it felt a little crummy. I need to tell that to my granddaughter. She's going to love that. Good morning, Sweet Tea, Adam, Daniel, Barry. How are you guys doing? I'm a little sore this morning. I got my TENS unit plugged into my lower back. That's what I'm messing with right now. It's been a rough weekend. We had a lot of inclement weather, lots of wind and rain in Washington State. And luckily, you guys know I do lots of events. I think it was Saturday. I was at one event in a park with a lot of trees, and a tree blew over, and we had to cancel our event. And luckily, the tree that was a huge evergreen tree, and it blew over the opposite direction of where we were at. I was under a barn. It would have been okay, but there was a trailer with music playing, and those guys would have got seriously hurt, if not killed, if that tree would have came the wrong way. Well, it happened out in here. Hold on. Let's see if I can find. Somebody got killed at an event, not too far from where I was at. I don't want this. See, can you guys see this? God, I got too many things open up. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was scary, Adam. How do I get to that thing? Okay. Nope. How do I get rid of this fucking thing? Boy, this thing's got a lot of ads on it. It says, what started out as fun and family-oriented Halloween-themed market on Saturday at McKenna Park quickly turned tragic. During the early afternoon hours, an oak tree fell. It wasn't an oak tree, it was a cottonwood tree. killing one person and injuring several others. The Haunted Witches Market, hosted by the Centaur Sisters. Blah, blah, blah. God, I can't stand this fucking website. I gotta get off of it. And now my computer's locked up. There we go. But yeah, and I think I have it bookmarked on X-Files. But anyways, all the tents are, I don't even know if it was open yet, but all the tents are lined up, and a cottonwood first, I think like the top of it fell off, and then the whole the whole tree didn't fall, but like half of it fell. It like split in half and came down, and it killed a 30-year-old guy, and it trapped a bunch of people underneath of it. Some of the vendors were like literally trapped under the fucking tree. So, and I didn't know that because I was at an event and I was watching the weather, and I didn't see the tree fall because of where I was at. I was at we were inside these horse stables. Everybody had their own stable to sell things out of. It was kind of cool. But the lady that ran, it's my first time doing this one. She was batshit crazy, the lady that ran it. So I didn't enjoy that. But I was watching the Asian people who were watching the band. And it was like on this trailer. I was just watching them, happened to be staring at them for whatever reason. And the guy just looks at me and goes, "Oh my God, the tree just fell." And then I look, and I didn't see the tree fall, but the trees that he's talking about are like fucking over 100 feet tall. They're fucking huge. And then they just like immediately canceled the event, like right then and there. It was supposed to go till 8 p.m. and went till 4 o'clock. So, and other people, I seen somebody I know that posted, they lost $1,200 in product, got blown away in the wind. And you got to be careful when it's windy like that, you know. I canceled an event last week because of the wind, because you just don't know if the weather, if it's even close, excuse me, to where it's going to be too windy. I may not go, and I hate canceling, but it's not worth it to lose all your shit, you know. No one expects to get crushed by a tree, though. So what do I do the next day? And that was on Saturday. On Sunday, I head out to the haunted forest for the family walk, which I don't know how smart that was, but I figured if parents are going to bring their kids out there, I mean, no one's safe being around all these trees right now in a windstorm, but it wasn't windy, and it worked out pretty good. And there was only one other vendor that showed up, so I ended up making up for the money that I lost on Saturday. But it was wild, to say the least. And those poor people, man, I feel bad for the family of, the people that, that guy that was killed. I don't know who they were. But then, of course, social media, you have people on there that want to be the fucking weather experts and, call out the event coordinator that they should have canceled the event type of thing. And that's a tough call, It really sucks to have an event cancel because, you put in, you're counting, for me, for example, I'm counting on $1,000 for a certain event, or $500 or $1,500. You may not make that, but you're gonna get like around about that number, and then they just cancel the event. And then you go outside and the weather's fine, you're pissed off, so it's a tough call either way. I have a tree in my complex where I live that is bent to one side so badly. I don't know how it hasn't fallen yet. It's tremendous. I think it's going to take I'm going to take a short video of it today and post. Yeah, that's a good idea. But, a lot of trees just have strong root systems. Here in Washington State, they say that scientists have determined that because of the government-controlled climate change, the fake global warming, that evergreens don't properly root in here in Washington anymore. We're known as that. We're literally the evergreen state, Washington State, but they're starting to plant sequoias in Washington State because of the weather, and they say that the evergreens, they don't root properly and they die at the top of the trees now. They're dying all across the state. So who knows? Who knows? My ex, her father was killed by he was cutting a tree down. I don't even know if it's been a year yet. He was in the 70s, ex-military guy down in Florida. And he was cutting the tree down. Excuse me. And it, I think it did, like instead of like tipping over properly, it kind of yanked backwards and fell back on itself type of thing and crushed him that way. I don't know exactly what happened. But you got to be careful with that stuff for sure. All right. Let's get to it. There's a hurricane right now. Let's see. What are we looking at here? What am I on? Okay, yeah. So it's a category 5 now hurricane, I believe. And they're issuing warnings for Jamaica. It says, remain sheltered. Catastrophic flash flooding, landslides, and destructive winds will continue through today, causing widespread infrastructure damage, power and communication outages in isolated communities. Total structure failure is possible near the path of Melissa Center. So it's Hurricane Melissa. Along the southern coast, life-threatening storm surge and damaging waves are expected. Failure to act may result in serious injury or loss of life. So that's Jamaica. Haiti and the Dominican Republic, basically the same thing. Extensive damage and isolation of communities is likely. So, communities are totally cut off. Tropical storm conditions are expected later today and Wednesday. Eastern Cuba, heavy rainfall, life-threatening storm surge and damaging winds. Complete all preparations now. I mean, they're talking about this is like fucking, it sounds like they're prepping for war. Because war is definitely on the horizon in the Caribbean. It just sounds like it's coming from the same source. Southern, eastern, and central Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. Hurricane conditions, life-threatening storm surge, heavy rainfall. Central Bahamas, complete preparations by tonight. Follow local official guidance. Turks and Caicos Islands on Wednesday. Sounds like... it sounds bad. Sounds like a weapon to me. I don't know. Let me get out of there. What else do we got going on here? I think that's it other than getting to the X-Files. So, I got a couple roommates. One of the people that I have, that she actually lives in the outside in a different building, but she uses our kitchen. She comes up to me yesterday and she goes, "Are you on food stamps?" And I said, she's like 70 years old. And I go, "No." I go, "Why?" And she goes, "I'm on food stamps." Toro, good morning. Good to see you. She goes, "I'm on food stamps." And she goes, "I'm not going to get my food stamps in a few days or next week," because she said something about Trump and the government shutdown, and they're not going to give her food stamps or her benefits. I can't remember what she called it. I think she said food stamps. And she just looked so worried. I was like, oh fuck, man. These people, it's like this is not going to be good if the government really does shut down, guys. I don't know. But I told her, I go, well, I wouldn't worry about it too bad. Because I heard that they have billions of dollars set aside for the EBT people. So they'll still get, you'll still get your food benefits. I said, that's what I heard. I said, especially here in Washington State, I'm sure that, although she is white, but she's female, and she's old. So hopefully that helps, I don't know. I personally think that it's a good idea to completely cut it off, because we have 500-pound Shrek, what's that? What was his girlfriend's name? Fiona. I mean, these people they're so morbidly obese. They Lord, don't make me go down the path of the fucking EBT and the fat people. Don't do it. It's called SNAP benefits. Yes. My mother worked for the Department of Social Health and Services for 33 years, and they will not be getting them this month, maybe not next month either. Mustang, good morning. Toro, yes. Yeah, no, I've heard all the stories. I've heard 33 years of stories of the welfare department. I've heard my share of stories of people coming into the welfare department, such as back in, let's say, the 80s, the people that would get their benefits, you'd have to come into the office or whatever. They drove nicer cars than my mom, who worked there, who didn't get benefits and actually worked for a living. They drove nicer cars than her. I remember her talking about that back in the 80s. I mean, nothing new. You got the drug dealers on fucking benefits. You got the gamblers. And they did finally cut this off, but you had the gamblers go to the casino and just fucking literally put their EBT cards in the fucking casino machine. That was going on here in Washington. The welfare people were taking their EBT cards to the casino and withdrawing their cash benefits to gamble. It's incredible. But I personally think that they should choke the system out. Now, people like Leah, who's 70 years old and on fixed income, we got to take care of her. And I would take care of her personally if, because she's my roommate. I'm not going to let her starve. And she does get a paycheck from the government, I believe. And I don't know if she would get that or not. I think she still gets that. I don't know how that works. It's not like it's a total government shutdown, right? I don't know how that's working. But, yeah, so I don't know if that's all I have to say about that, but I think that me personally, if I was in charge, I would completely eliminate the food benefit thing and start it over. But I would choke it out for a while. And, I would demand that all the local authorities, do their jobs and make sure that our American citizens don't starve to death. But they're not going to starve, because the 500-pound people can eat themselves. And what it would do, it would self-deport all of the people that are sucking the welfare system. And, it's unfortunate. There's a lot of nice people here. There's a lot of children here. There's a lot of old people here that are very nice, and they don't commit any crimes, but they are absolutely just leeching off of our system. Like, I'm pretty sure there's nobody in the chat that sits on welfare all day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you guys do, and I don't have a job just because I think the American workforce is broken. I mean, there's still, I was in construction. I was a bartender. The last job I had was a bartender. That's what I got. I got fired from bartending when COVID hit in 2020. But before that, I was in construction. And then before that, I grew pot for a few years. And then I was in the casino business for quite a while. We'll just say the gaming industry, because I did like 7 years in a casino, 7 years in a bingo hall. So it was all kind of same. See no evil. Good morning. Good to see you. But now, I mean, I make cupcakes for a living and dip strawberries, but it's as you guys know, it's a lot of work. It's a hustle, and I don't get any benefits from anything other than I'm on the state medical I don't go to the doctor for anything, but I do go to the dentist once in a while, which they're, as soon as I can afford, I'm just going to just pay to go to the dentist myself, because going to the state dentist in Washington is like going to a medieval torture chamber where they hang pride flags, and they ask you 50 questions. Or are you a man? Yeah. Do you want to stay a man? Yes. Do you have a dick? Yes. Do you want to keep it? Because do you want to cut it off? Do you need breasts? Do you have feelings of feminism? I mean, literally, it's 50 fucking pedophile questions that I was given. I don't know if it's a lot, because I haven't been for a while. I have to go back. I have an appointment on the 17th. It's fucking ridiculous. How's your granddaughter doing? Hope everything. Yeah, she's doing great. We went to the spooky store, as she called it, Spirit Halloween, for like the 17th time yesterday, literally. But it was the first time that I went with her and her mom, because when I pick her up from school, that's all she wants to do now is go to the Halloween store. And I pick her up 3 days a week. So we've been plenty of times. And I usually buy her, like one thing when we go, So we did that. And then we went to Forelli's for pizza last night, which was a lot of fun. And played the duck skill crane game. And I'm picking her up for after daycare today. So she's doing good. She's getting big. Everything is wrong that you say. She'll correct you, even if you say it right. No, it's not. No, it's not. So she's a lot of fun. All right, what do we got here? So apparently with the government, hold on, let me turn my air filter off here. And my heater. It says, is your next flight safe? On day 27 of the Democrat shutdown, air traffic controllers miss paychecks, fatigue rises, and staffing thins while Democrats push 1.5 trillion more spending, including benefits for illegals. So
America's skies are in danger. Air traffic controllers are missing their first paycheck, and people are wondering, what is the breaking point? Are we close to a crash, a collision in air? Maybe even worse if critical infrastructure is destroyed by falling objects from the sky. This is happening because of a confluence of events. And that all culminates in the Schumer shutdown, because Democrats want an additional $1.5 trillion in spending on top of Biden's spending levels. And a good amount of that money will go to health care for illegal aliens, which is stone cold nuts. So while Washington bickers, the Democrats who won't open the government are making America less safe on a variety of fronts. Our military, funding grants to state and local law enforcement, even planes potentially falling out of the sky. Will new air traffic controllers be working before they have sufficient experience?
It just gives me the creeps to even think about the air traffic controller situation. It has definitely been compromised, and it's not about DEI or the government shutdown. Because remember, they said that it was about hiring all these DEI people and excuse me, all the wokeness and stuff like that. Well, now it's because of the government shutdown. I mean, we've seen the plane hit the helicopter, what was that, like in the Hudson River or the Potomac, one of the two. Then there was the people from Spain, the family from Spain that was on the tour, helicopter tour, and their helicopter came apart and crashed into the river. There was the Mexican air ambulance that came down like a missile, and the Muslim guys yelling Ahmed, and remember that one in Philadelphia? Blew up the fucking parking lot, injured a whole bunch. I mean, that was like a fucking missile that blew up. Okay. The fighter jet in Alaska that came, all those happened like within just days of each other. And then there's just been 100 other, there was the plane in India that crashed and caught on fire. Just, I think yesterday and I might have a video of a private plane that in Venezuela that takes off, and it immediately just flips upside down and crashes and catches on fire. I mean, this is not an air traffic control problem. This is a coup d'etat. This is a government takeover, and they're hijacking every system, not just the air traffic system. You got to make a jet ski meme of Tommy and Thing Do with Tommy. You know who can do it now? See No Evil is Todd Father. He's the guy. He's got the Chat GPT. He's the one that made that one of Tommy yesterday. So he's got the skills now to do all that stuff. Sweet Tea, there's a big bingo scene happening here. Tuesday night. Yeah, so the bingo hall that I worked there from 92 to 2000. It's still there, and it's 10 times bigger than it was when I worked there. And that's where I met my older kid's mom at, and she still works there, and I met her in 93. So, I mean, I don't even know how long ago was that now, 2023, 30 something years ago, 32, 33 years ago. Yeah, now it's like filled with slot machines. It's got restaurants and a cigar lounge, and, when I worked there, it was just it was crazy town when I worked there. They were doing cocaine in the bathrooms, and a lot has changed. Now you go in there, it's just 500-pound Samoans and flip-flops. I don't know why Samoans love bingo so much, but that's all that plays there is 500-pound Samoans and flip-flops. I can't stand it. Adam, a lot of times trees that are not planted in direct sunlight will grow towards the sunlight, and older trees grow deep roots. Yeah, what's crazy is I did a fence replacement, just one section for my mom one time, and the 4x4 that I put in the ground, it warped and like towards the sun so bad it was crazy looking. It's amazing how that can do that. The Progressive is up to 7,800. Yeah. Let's move on here. Trump is he's making his rounds around Asia. Oh, you're so great, Trump. No, you're such the man. Good for you, motherfucker. Our country is doing so great, and you're out there, you're waving your magic wand, magically stopping the Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk got his neck blown apart, and nobody knows nothing. It was a disgruntled, LGBT in his tranny furry boyfriend. Sure it was. So Trump is the greatest, gift to humanity, the greatest human to ever walk the planet. Everywhere he goes is gold. And he has the audacity to say that we're in the golden age of America right now. I don't see it. I don't know about you guys. I'm not saying, we made a mistake, because we didn't. I mean, the choices that we had but I mean, is he doing what he said he was going to do? Fuck, he is. He ain't doing shit. Everything sucks. The crime is getting worse. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, it's getting worse. I don't see anything getting better. I see everything getting worse myself. So violence is worse. Everything's worse. We've seen this already. Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, Jamaica braces for worst storm on record. Got to be careful. A rip in the bathrooms is still happening at our restaurants. Yeah, well, I mean, those people got to be crazy these days because, I mean, I don't even think there's any real cocaine left. I mean, it's all got to be like, tainted with fentanyl and who knows what other types of synthetics and, meth. And I highly don't recommend doing any of that stuff anymore. Those days are long gone. You know what I mean? You used to be able to party, and I never really did. I tried coke like twice, very small amounts. It was never my thing. I've always just been a weed guy. But it ain't like it used to be, for sure. He's only been in the office less than a year. It's a process. Nah, I don't buy it. See no evil. I don't buy it at all. I don't buy it at all. I mean, yes, it is a process, and it is, an uphill battle for a lot of things, but there's too many things that are going on where he's just straight up part of the plan. You know what I mean? I'm not okay with the Epstein thing. I'm not okay with the fact that he's bringing in Bill Gates and Sam Altman and Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook and fucking all of those snakes. And he's got his buddy fucking Larry Ellison bought TikTok, and Larry Ellison's son runs Paramount Plus, and they're talking about fucking making it we can't say shit and limiting our free speech, and AI is taking all our. I mean, do you see any jobs out there? I mean, this fucking place is destroyed, man. It ain't good. So he doesn't need to be in Asia fucking touring the fucking world. He needs to be here fucking at his desk doing what he's supposed to be doing. He wants to talk about the golden age of America, make our country better again. Where's the jobs at? Lower the prices, Come to Washington State and New York and fucking attack these motherfuckers that are trying to put in Muslims and the pedophile laws and shit. I mean, there's a lot he could be doing, We keep Narcan and defibrillator at the restaurant. Yeah. I mean, everybody does, But if I was in charge, the Narcan would be illegal. No Narcan. If you overdose, if you're dying from fentanyl, you just die. That's just how it works. If I'm in charge, because I'm sick of it. Been too long. Everybody knows the risks. It's a fucking fool's argument about drugs, about the state of drugs in this country. If you're doing that shit, there ain't no Narcan at my restaurant. I'll tell you that. It would not be allowed. He tried to do all that the first 4 years he was in office. Look at the hell he went through. Look at what they did to him. That's all. We are looking at the same window, aren't we? Well, yes and no. I mean, it depends on the issue. There's so many issues, like the world is a complicated place. It depends on if we're talking about, foreign politics, or we're talking about domestic and different things, if we're talking about the economy, if we're talking about our right to free speech, there's just different things, some things he's doing great on. Some things I do truly see this being the golden age of America. And are there certain things that I do feel relief on? Yeah. Like number one, I do feel like it's somewhat safer that a lot of these violent illegals from Africa, especially from Africa, from West Africa, like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire. There's just a few of these little countries where these motherfuckers, they brought them in from. They were the ones carjacking, robbing people at the bingo halls and the casinos, robbing people in grocery store parking lots. Like, I mean, it was bad there for a while. Those were all those motherfuckers, and they got a lot of them out here. They shouldn't have been here in the first place. Coach Rain, good morning. Good to see you. It is terrible, but I have to take it seriously because it's a property and I can be liable. No, I get that. I get it. I get it. It's a problem, and and the government is complicit in it. 100% they're complicit in it. And think of all the money made off of Narcan, right? And the people that are making the money off Narcan are the same people that are making the money off the fentanyl. It's the same motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's the same motherfuckers. And it's all about control. I don't know why they do it. I don't know what the benefit is. I think the benefit of, and I've said this before, fentanyl is not a drug. It's a weapon. It was used to destroy America, and it worked very well. It got rid of a lot of people. And so we are just a shell of the country, and we're going to get taken over by India. They're coming. They're coming, and they're coming fast, and they're going to come by the hundreds of thousands and millions in our country. And it's just the way it's going to be, So I don't know, guys. No easy answers, but I just think that, I'm not saying he's doing a horrible job. I don't think he should be out, touring fucking Malaysia. Who gives a fuck if they're dancing for him in Malaysia and shit? In Japan. And so Japan, that's what I was talking about. Hold on. I need my honey water. Japan just imported 500,000 Indians into Japan, and now all their women are getting raped on the streets. But they did it because they have a radical faggot leader, which is crazy for Japan. My stepdad was Japanese. He was Nisei. He was born in the internment camps here in Washington State during World War II, 1945. But now their women are getting raped on the streets by these Indians, and they did it because the Japanese birth rate collapsed. They are no longer having babies, so they cannot sustain their workforce. They can't sustain anything. So their answer is to bring in the Indians. And which it goes to show you that it's not by accident that all of these leaders are now gay and communist and Muslim and just it's just crazy town. The puppet masters, whoever they are making this happen globally for whatever reason, And so it's going to happen here. It's happening in Canada already for whatever reason, because India has 2 billion people. We're used to seeing the Chinese around. They've been around forever. And personally, I'd rather have Chinese people here than fucking the Indians, man. We can expect rape and shit in our rivers. And that whole country basically stinks. Look at the way that they sell food. Anybody seen their street vending videos? It's absolutely disgusting. And at my farmer's market, it's over now. I think it started with one Indian vendor. There was like 4 or 5 by the time the market was over. They're just multiplying, unfortunately. Tommy, good morning. Good to see you. Let's see here. Let me catch up to the chat. Watch a video of a famous singer who moved to Kenya. Now she isn't happy. She left because of Trump. Osada, you're actually pretty close to the truth, and it's already too late to stop it from coming. People don't realize it yet. Yeah, Adam, you're right. But I've been talking about this my whole life, just not on StreamYard. There's a lot to fix here to do with the corruption that has plagued our nation. I have a feeling that Canada will possibly become our 51st state. Well, see, no, the talk of that, we don't want it to be our 51st state. We don't want Canada, man. We do not want Canada. They have so many problems, so many Muslims, and they have crime families that will conflict with the crime families here. We don't need it. See no evil, 4 years it's been happening. Yep. Files on the food, cleaning everything with raw sewage. Flies on the food, cleaning everything with, yeah, it is. It's nasty, man. And I dealt with a couple of them here. I've had a couple of roommates, and what they're doing is they are turning states blue. They all went to You know, I had a roommate here during the election, and he went to Georgia, and I thought that was weird. Why Georgia? You know, these guys just travel around the country, and it's because they're you know, gerrymandering or whatever. They tried to turn Georgia blue, and I don't think it worked. You know, it almost worked, but they go down there and they just vote. So there's whole networks going on, you know, that we're not privy to, you know. And those guys they're just going to take over the job markets, man. And they're very racist. So I just got to be, I got to be one of the outspoken people about it. I know people will call me a racist, but I could care less. You know, I've always, you know, my last name is Japanese. I have friends of all race, religion, creed. That being called a racist doesn't bother me. I'm an American. I'm standing up for this country. And I think that it should be America only, you know, is that, you know, there's a strict process for coming here. And when you come here, you have to be, you know, compliant with American policies and our ideologies. You're not going to come here and bring fucking Muslim. You're not going to come here and bring Hindu. You're not going to come here and bring Buddha. You're not going to come here and bring fucking any of those religions. You're going to come here. And if you want to be religious, you can be Christian. If I was in charge, that's the way it would be. We're a Christian nation, one nation under God, indivisible by liberty and justice for all. We're not Zoran Momdani. We're not Ilhan Omar. We're not that fucking dude that looks like Skeletor from Minneapolis. That's the other Somali guy. You know, we're not marrying our brothers. We're not marrying our sisters. We're not telling our women to shut up and wear burqas. You know, we don't do that here. That's not America. You know, America is land of the free and home of the brave. You know, we put on our boots in the morning and we go out and we build buildings and we hammer train tracks and we fly airplanes and we build shit. That's what America does. We build shit here. We make cars. That's what we're supposed to do. You know, we're not supposed to be some fucking techie I mean, we can have fucking, you know, I mean, that's never going to go away. We can be techie, but we got to have industry. We got to keep the industry. We got to keep the trades going, you know, assimilate or get the fuck out. Yeah. And, you know, that word assimilate, they're using that word, Cotrain. You know, I've heard people say that one too many times about the Indian people. Oh, well, they assimilate. They assimilate well. With America, they assimilate better than anybody else. Well, one does, two does, but when you get 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000, 500,000 of them, it's guaranteed there's no assimilate. Guaranteed. It's all going to be praying on the streets and it's crazy town. Google says only white people could be racist. Sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Yeah, well, you know, it's white people have been being attacked for a long time. We're just now realizing it, you know, on a wider scale. Omar stood up for Trump to foreign leaders. She's scared to get deported. Yeah, she is. I'm happy that we're putting the dumbasses back woke. Yep. It only takes one of them to muddy the minds of the others 100%. And I will not let anyone tell me what I am allowed to say or believe. And see, the problem with that is that's what this new digital ID social credit score system is going to do, though, is that they're not going to have to tell us that. They're going to shut us down. I got to go make some water, guys. I'm sorry. Let me play a video real quick. Okay, I'm going to play Candace Owens real quick, and I'll be right back. She dropped a banger yesterday, and I'll get to it in a second.
But I was so clearly deluded in the immediate aftermath of his death that I was operating under this function. I mean, I truly believed that I would be fighting for answers to what actually happened on 9/10 alongside Charlie's inner circle. I thought the band maybe was going to get back together. We were all going to maybe be on a group chat. Me, Tyler Boyer, Andrew Colvett, Stacey Sheridan even. If you're wondering who Stacey Sheridan is, by the way, she's the one who's holding the camera when Charlie's casket is being escorted off of Air Force Two. She's like the chief money person, essentially, at Turning Point USA. She was brought in to reel in the big donors. I remember exactly when that happened. All of those people, by the way, were actually brought in by Tyler Boyer. He's a very important character in the story, but we're going to get into all of that tomorrow. The point that I'm making here is that I had assumed, clearly wrongly, that we'd all maybe be on a group chat communicating, raising hell and demanding answers from the feds, from the police, from the White House even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no, I was wrong. Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved. Just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio. Hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need a grassy knoll. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I got to be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture. But maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ simply, to use an expression, had his wits about him. And JFK had a plan. Like in the event that he had been horrifically assassinated in front of the world, JFK maybe had a succession plan. Now, if these terms I'm using here sound familiar to you, it's because they should sound familiar. It's the exact terminology that was utilized by Pastor Rob McCoy just 4 days after Charlie was murdered. In front of his congregation, he spoke about Charlie's succession plan that he was somehow privy to. I don't know why, but he knew 4 days later and announced to the world that Charlie indeed had a plan. Take a listen.
Everyone's worried about the leadership of TPUSA. Don't. He was wise enough at 31 to put together a plan for succession. It's very clear what they decided, and they're implementing it now.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. So on September 14th, we were made aware of this succession plan. And I find that to be fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie all around the world seem to be fighting harder for him, fighting harder for truth. And it is, in fact, thanks to people on the internet like Sam Parker, James Lee, Ian Carroll, Zeb Boykin.
Yeah, he did lie about everything. Coach Rain. Let me go back real quick. This won't be a popular comment from where I'm sitting. Black people are more openly racist than, 100%. Offended by everything and ashamed of nothing. That's the way I put it. Candace dropped a nuke yesterday. Yes, she did. Yeah, and that guy, Pat McCoy, that was just on there. Let me rewind it. He, and I have the video of it, he says that his son had blood on him, never had blood on him. But it's the way that he says it. It's the way that these guys are putting, it's so sinister. And It's the other guy too, Josh Hammer. And I'm sorry if you guys don't know who the characters are in this story. You know, I'm fascinated with it. I haven't really talked about it too much because I'm just kind of letting it play out. There's still a lot more to come about it, and I don't want to just sound like a dummy and them have just change everything up on me. But you know, I didn't follow Charlie Kirk at all, but he's the one that started that business. He's the one that had the talent, and he's the one that people looked at on, you know, had the following on Twitter, and he's the reason why people went to those events. And you've got all these cucks out here with zero talent that nobody cares about, that nobody's ever heard about, that we're going to not care about the second that we figure out what happened and we can just put it all to rest. Nobody cares about Turning Point USA. Nobody gives a shit about what those guys' movement's about or what they're talking about. Nobody gives a fuck. You know, that guy Charlie had some charisma and some talent. And now these guys are trying to insert themselves in that role and take over the business. Go ahead. You guys killed him. You took the money. Good for you. But let it be known that we don't believe you. You're a lying piece of shit. And we don't like you. You have no talent. You know, your son is not talented enough to take over the company. Nobody cares. We're not going to listen. That Turning Point USA is going to tank. It's going to tank hard. And there's no substance to it. I mean, does anybody even know what Turning Point USA is? What it's about? I have zero. I know more about Bitcoin than I know about Turning Point USA. I have zero fucking clue about either one of them. So his son ran when Charlie got shot and never had. Yeah, it's weird, Co-Train. Offended by everything and ashamed of nothing. I'm going to use that one today. Yeah, it's a good one, Adam. I stole that from somebody too. So I'm not taking credit for using that, but it's very true. In a situation like that, only one person will be trying to stop the blood, so not everyone has blood on them like them. You know what's amazing is how many people are involved in it. And that's what, you know, I think would be the hard part for the normal person to come to terms with, even somebody like me. When I first seen it happen and I came to the realization of what was really going on, you know, and then you have time to think about it. And somebody like me thinks like, oh my God, like, you know, it's hard to put a percentage, but we'll just throw out a number and say 50% of the people in the crowd are knew what was going to happen. And most people would say that's impossible. Thing do. Good morning. 9-teamer. Oh my gosh. Yes, I forgot about that till you said that. And I was being serious yesterday. That sucks, man. It really does. But it's crazy how those work. I mean, they're never going to hit. You know, it's like my buddy too. Like he bet one the other day. We're switching over to sports betting, guys, for 1 second since Dindy's in the house. My buddy Brian, you know, he just set up a FanDuel account. And, you know, they gave him like a $300 like bonus. I was like, dude, don't you know not to take the fucking bonus on those fucking accounts? You're never going to get your money. Well, apparently it worked. He won some bets, lost some bets. He ended up cashing out some money. Then he said he was never going to do it again. So I'm just thinking to myself, he didn't tell me part of the story. He must have lost some money along the way. Who fucking knows? Then he sends me a thing where he's like, check this out, dude. It's only a $5 bet, but it's Pittsburgh and Green Bay, maybe, if that was a game, where they have to score. Each team has to score a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown each half. And $5 pays $882. I'm just fucking slapping my forehead when I look at the screenshot. I'm like, this stupid motherfucker. Give me that $5. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, I'm not going to lie. I do bet on sports once in a blue moon. I did use ChatGPT to win $750. I started out with $100 right before the home run derby. And then ChatGPT told me to bet on Cal Raleigh, whatever his name is, for the Mariners to win the home run derby. And I put like $200 on him, or $250, and it paid like 500 and something. So I don't recommend it though. I'm not saying that chat, but that's what my buddy does too. He uses ChatGPT to be his like sports analysis. So Dean Do is telling Co-Train to shut up. I don't know how he would say it. Was a movement that was based on tradition and the way of life that Christian beliefs were taught, and to bring awareness to the truth, and the people have been influenced and indoctrinated. Yeah, our colleges have been infiltrated, and they've become woke. There's a lot of people out there now that, like those woke liberal ladies who they're vegan, they're the flag wavers. They wave the Ukraine flag. They wave the LGBTQ flag. They wave the Palestinian flag. They just love to wave. They wipe their ass with fucking flags. Now they're out there saying, oh my God, I'm basically Muslim. I'm going to change to Muslim. Oh my God, I never knew. That's what they're all saying now. So you're going to have a lot of these crazy cat women, multicolored haired people that are now going to become Muslims. So we have, I don't know what the new name will be, if it'll be a Mary Muslim, or I don't know what the name will be, but they're coming. Sweet Tea, have a great day. Oh, wait, is Sweet Tea leaving? Did I miss her comment? Okay, I'm to work. Got to pause the video or risk getting fired. Have a great day. Okay, sorry, Sweet Tea, I missed your comment. Have a great day. That's why they call it betting. Well, here's the thing, though. It's, and I said this when sports betting first became a thing on the internet. I said it on Moss's show on MMA Holes. Gambling will ruin the integrity of sports. And he said, no, it won't. And then a couple of weeks later, we got into a huge fight about mybookie.com, which is no longer his sponsor. But, and I deleted all my content from before. But, some of the first videos I did when I started going live, when I first got enough thing, was I did one video because I was so pissed off at him for having MyBookie as a sponsor that I was talking about how many people were committing suicide because of gambling online. And it really is a thing. It's really a serious problem. And it's going to become a serious problem in this country because most people now, like myself and Thindu, will go to the casino to make a sports bet. I mean, that's a normal thing, But when you have access to gambling on your phone, now it's a whole different thing. Now the casino is in your house. The casino is in your car. The casino is at your work. The casino is in your bathroom, in your kitchen, in your swimming pool. The casino is everywhere, and the casino never shuts off. The casino is open 24 hours a day. And oh, by the way, the casino starts going ding, 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 check me out, ding, 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 here I am, I'm right here, I'm in your pocket, I'm on your table, I'm on your nightstand, ding, 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 turn me on, deposit 100, here we go, ding, ding, ding. I mean, it's already happening. It happened in India. And so many people were committing suicide in India, they had to ban online gambling. So I just watched a woman named Karen Reed get framed by the local and state police, the DA, and even the judge. I'd say they can do that on a state level, what they could do on 100% Co-Train. It's, they're doing it right in front of us. And it's almost, it literally, it is impossible to pull off on a large scale like they did with Charlie Kirk without there being mistakes made. You got way too many people involved in that orchestration. And so mistakes were made, but they're going to deny till they die. They'll go with it. They put in all new people, all of the lawyers and the judge and the gag order. But all the people that they put in, the medical people, all new people. It's all their people. The whole they the whole thing is already rigged, just like sports. All the players involved that we haven't even seen yet have already been put in there by the establishment, by the orchestrators of the assassination. So it's all the same people. So are we ever going to get justice when the people that blew his neck off are the ones that are going to hand out the justice? It's the same people. So, I mean, that's the world we live in. And is he even really dead? I mean, who's to say? Did he even really get shot? I mean, at this point, I would say probably, but we definitely don't know how. We know it wasn't a 30-06, right? Does anybody think it was a 30-06 that took out Charlie Kirk? I mean, from the rooftop, like the whole fucking back wall. That was a fucking, like, if somebody took a sharp edge, like ice pick and, like a really big one and jabbed it in your neck and pulled it out. I mean, that's what it would look like to me. Something like that. I don't know. I ain't seen too many people shot in the neck, but from my own gut instinct, I don't think that, I think they're lying about the gun for sure. So why would they even lie about one thing? Unless they were like trying to, they're pulling some fucking Sherlock Holmes shit. Watson, let's lead them, let's lead them off the scent. Let's tell them that it said you're a faggot on the bullet, and hide the gun by the outhouse and rub shit on it, and Watson, throw them off the scent, and let's go smoke a pipe. I don't fucking know, guys. Who fucking knows? Google will show you step by step how many animals' lives are ruined just so vegans can eat tofu. Yeah, the vegan people are absolutely, they're just horrible, angry humans. Coach or Adam, they are. Call to prayer in Dearborn, Michigan, 5 times a day. Yeah, it is. It's fucking insane. I work too hard to gamble. Keep it at the casino. Yeah, thing, dude. It's the thing because we all talk ourselves out of it, and that's what I was going to get to next. Was like, because I was going to bet on the Cyril Gahn, Tom Aspinall fight, the heavyweight fight on Saturday, and I've just been too busy. There's actually, full disclosure, to be a completely open degenerate, there's a new slot machine that I want to go play. And I've been wanting to play this thing for fucking 2 months now. It's called Triple Fortune Dragon Twin. And there's a series of those Triple Dragon games that I like. And they came out with a new one that people keep talking about. But every time that I have time to go, I find a reason to talk myself out of going. I really just been busy. This month of October has been crazy for me. But I wanted to go bet on that fight, and I talked myself out of it. And I'm glad I did, because the guy that I was going to bet on was like 3.5 to 1 underdog. And so, if let's say I bet 100, I win 350. My guy was winning the first round, and then there's an eye poke, and the other guy quit, so my guy gets disqualified. So it just ends in fucking, which eye pokes happen, but you just, betting on sports it should only be done, and I would assume for Thindu, if we're talking about a 9-team parlay, we're probably talking more in the neighborhood of what my buddy bet, the $5, $5 to win 882. We're probably talking more in the neighborhood of that. So this is a completely different level of, there's so many levels to everything. The term gamble responsibly, it's a case-by-case basis. It does not mean the same thing to everybody. You know what I mean? People like Thindu and I could go to the casino our whole lives, and, we know what we're doing. And we'll take that $5 bet or whatever, and we can make a whole fucking spectacle about it and get everybody involved and talk about it. And, it's fun. At the end of the day, it's fun. We know we're not going to win. But then there's people out there that they're, and I've been a degenerate before. I worked in the casino business. You ain't been a degenerate until you worked in a fucking casino, and then you gamble with people that you gamble with all the blackjack dealers. And I mean, that level of gambling degeneracy is like people just will never experience. I've done it. I've been there. So I know what it's like, and I will never go back to that. So I don't consider the occasional trip to the casino to bet on sports gambling. It's just something that we like to do. You know, is it gambling? Yes, but it's on a completely different level. Now, when they bring those phones, I'm not saying that I'm not going to be susceptible to that, because I will. And I've been thinking about this for years, and I've been talking about it for years. I don't think it's a good idea at all. And I'm just going to go off on a fucking gambling tangent. Gambling, the average slot machine player, the age is 54 years old in the United States. And it's getting older. And the young people aren't playing slots. Okay. There used to be a consistent feed of people, newcomers or gamblers. The casinos are emptying out. They're not what they used to be. Vegas is changing. Vegas is emptying out their casinos. They're stripped. They're building the Oakland Athletics right on the strip. They've got the Raiders there right on the strip. They've got the Sphere now, where they've got the huge, concert thing going on. They're slowly transforming into a convention town and shying away from gambling. Why? Because people don't need to go to Vegas to gamble anymore. There's no need. And first of all, the odds are not any better in Vegas. By a long shot, they're not any better. And, oh, by the way, you don't get free drinks anymore, and the food is 10 times more expensive, and the service sucks, and there's the heat, and everything you own can get stolen by criminals, and, the list goes on. So, definitely a sniper's rifle. Yeah, something. That's because people don't care about the truth. They just like to kill themselves. Sorry, am I behind? Drop the link. Oh, sorry, I will. Yep. Gambling is why Thindo won't retire. He wants to retire a lottery winner and a construction worker. Hold on, let me get to the link. Tommy says what? But when, and I'm worried. And here's the thing too. So the young kids, they got to get the young kids gambling. And the way they're going to do that, this is my prediction and my theory on why GTA 6, if that's what it's called, has not come out yet. Good morning, Magooch. Is because there's states like Washington State here is one of the last states where it's illegal to gamble online. They need to fully legalize it nationally to gamble online. Once they do that, this is just my own personal theory, that GTA 6, because they've already had a casino on that game in the part 5, that it will be a fully, it'll be online gambling at a level that nobody has ever seen before. That, because in the online casino, you can rent a penthouse suite and put on a suit and drive a Lamborghini and, walk in there and just be ba-boom, ba-boom. And then you can sit at a table with your friends and gamble. It's a whole new thing. Good morning, sir.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
All right. Just to let Vito outside. Everything's happening around here. But I wanted to say, great show.
Thank you.
Because this gambling, you couldn't hit the nail on the head any better than what you're saying. Now, you're talking about two guys that have been around, me and you, seen it all about, yada, yada. Great point. When you discipline yourself, especially at this age, am I going to go to the casino today? Absolutely. Yesterday, I was in that Defiance Monday Night Football. the Dodgers came the World Series. I said, Dean, what are you doing? Go. You know what, Osada? I said to myself, the only way I'm going to do this is get in the car, go down to the casino, and you know what? I don't want to do all that right now. Because knowing deep down, I'm going to lose anyways. I don't want to donate today. Oh, okay. I don't want to feel like donating. I don't want that feeling in me. Just like you said, if this phone had any type of fucking betting apps on it, I would have bet that yesterday. But since we discipline ourselves, only go to the casino to play, that is gold right there. Because right there shut down my whole day. But if I was gambling on my phone, I would have been in the hole right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Just like you said. Just like you said. It's amazing how, see, gambling is a disease. We all know that. It's very addictive. We all know that. It's something to do. We all know that. The behavior is incredible. But if you discipline yourself to making it 1 point, I can only do it there. That is the game changer. Because once you put this phone down, it's over.
100%. You know, and the problem is too, is like, so let's say we go to the casino and then I'm going to make, let's say I'm going to go buck wild. I'm going to make $100 worth of sports bets. Okay. Well, I got my tickets. I go home, win or lose, I have to accept the outcome. Now on the phone, what's going to happen is you make your initial bet. Well, you still got time before the game kicks off. And then your brain is going to be like, oh, okay. No, I need to make this bet too. I'm going to get this parlay in real quick. You know, oh, and I lost that. I can get it back on this game. Boom, boom, boom. You know, I mean, all that's going to happen.
Right, right. I mean, another great point with the gambling. You accept it. Like you said, you can't chase, Osada. You can't chase your lost money. And that's where 75% of the people get in so much trouble on the chase. I could win it back. I could win it back. It's not a lot. And like Coltrane said the biggest thing of it all. You think I'm going to work? You think I'm going to work and paying them? Okay? Only go with what you could afford. Only go because you know you're donating this money. That's key to Dindu. I'm donating. I'm not going to win. When you start thinking you're going to win and you got something going, goodbye. You're going to get crushed. It's the nature of the beast. I've seen it. My father, biggest is once you start chasing, you're a complete loser right there. And he was right. I never seen a guy when you see a guy chase, that guy's got a ton of money. He can afford to lose that money. He don't care about that money. He's not going to lose sleep over that money. You know what I mean, Osada? Where us guys, we get sick to our stomach when we lose. You know, oh my God, you know what I could have did with that money? You know what I could have. See, that's the experience of gambling and losing over a long period of time, folks. But you see it all. You see it all. And the behavior is incredible. Incredible.
Big time. Yeah, no, you have to, if you're going to gamble, you got to know what you're up against. And it takes
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, but my father, you go into betting knowing you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You can't think any other way. And it's got to be money you could afford to lose. Once you start getting into dollars and cents that you can't afford and you don't have, that's where the mountain of trouble comes in. So, and then, like you said, on the phones, you could use credit cards. No wonder why people in India were jumping off cliffs. I mean, once you start pounding your credit cards, that's just like Russian roulette. So
it's sinister what those companies will do to you too, because
they don't care.
No, they don't care. And you know, they've got tactics like, let's say that you win and now you want to cash your money out. Well, they will offer you, they'll say, Tindu, I know you want to cash out 500, but if you just wait 6 days, we'll give you 850. We just got to promise you can't, or they do things like that to entice you to, and then you'll just gamble it all. I'm not saying you, but people will just gamble it all away. Or they literally send you notifications. Hey, I know it's 3:00 in the morning, but we got a special going right now. You deposit 50. Oh, sorry, there's Tommy, and we'll give you another 300. Good morning.
Right, right. And another good point that you hit on, these casinos. Okay, we've had casinos around here for years now, but like you said, that aura, that old school gambler and guy. And I'm even going to go to the extreme. I'm a street guy, gangster. When they used to go to casinos, if they weren't treated like royalty or with respect, that casino would never see them again. In the last 10, 15 years, same thing happened here with Dindu. Everything you said. You walk into a casino nowadays, they go like this. You walk into a casino, yeah, what do you want? They don't even look at you. They don't even and in Atlantic, no other place you could be treated like a real gambler. I'm talking old school, and it's gone now. Atlantic City was the best in the world for catering to gamblers and bettors. Vegas was too. Don't get me wrong. But if you wanted a real action, Atlantic City was the fucking spot. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, forget about it. They treated you like a king and queen out there. And that's why they've won so many people's treasures, pensions, family heirlooms. That's why they sucked all those old people in during the days in the 80s and 90s down in Atlantic City. They would pick you up at your doorstep. They would comp you fucking dinners for a week. They would give you a perfume, cologne, soap. They would give you would walk out of there feeling like King George. Nowadays, you walk out of there like you're the biggest bum jack off you've ever seen.
100.
So, am I right there? See, Osada, I'm talking to you like this because I know you know.
Well, I'll tell you my story. When I turned 21, I went to the El Dorado in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went with a bunch of people from work, and one of the ladies I went with she was a super high roller at that casino. And she got the penthouse suite. They had the matchbooks in her room had her name, Carolyn Larson, engraved on the matchbooks. Okay. They treated us. She had her own bartender. And I'll never forget, she had her own slot machine attendant. And he was a little Asian guy. He seen I was betting on sports, like I was betting on the Chicago Bulls or something. He came up to me. He gave me money. He's like, hey, I can't make it to the window, before I get off work. He's like, and he gave me a piece of paper. He's like, will you go bet on this for me? And so I bet on a game for the guy that was working there. I mean, they treated us like royalty at that casino. Then I went back with my daughter in 2020 on our way to Florida. We passed through there, and it was so scary. It was not the same place. It was not.
No, all different. Everything's changed. Osada, back in the 90s, we walked into the casino. See, wait a minute. It was Caesars, or was it? We owned Caesars and Trump Plaza. Anyways, it was the Trump. We walked in there. We slapped them for 10 grand. I slapped them for 4. My Gumbadi slapped them for 6. In the first half hour, we walked in there. I never seen anything like it. When we got off them stools, there was 2 gentlemen standing right there. We upgraded your room. We upgraded. We went upstairs to the presidential suites. Osada, Dindu's eyes came out of his head. Back then, I was young. We had a doorbell. Okay, I mean, we had bathrobes. We had a maid. We had our boxes of Portofinos, Macadunos sitting there. We had bathrobes. We looked at each other. We were like, wow. We lived just like kings for the next 5 days at that fucking casino. Okay? Unbelievable. They watched everything. They seen everything. They knew when you walked in, because when you walked in, the first thing you did was get your room ready. They knew you were there. They watched you go right to the tables. They watched it. The first thing we did, we got our room. We walked right across the street to the mall and bought everything we wanted. We came back to the casino. The next 4 days, we, like I said, lived like kings.
Yeah.
So that's the way you want to be. Just like Magooch. Magooch said the same thing. In Atlantic City, they used to set you right up. So, and don't get me wrong. Yeah, you got to gamble. You got to spend some money when you go. You know that gig. But
100%. It was that's what you remembered. You remembered the special.
yes,
And all
yes.
that. Yeah, and that's all. And my theory behind that, because like here in Washington State, we used to have some of the greatest restaurants that was where everybody went, was to the casinos to eat, the buffets. I mean,
Yes.
now they've taken that all away. There's no more buffets, and they use COVID as an excuse. But now what they've done, not only do they not have buffets, they took out all the good restaurants. They might have one like steak place, but now they have a mall court style. They got like the fake taco place, the fake Italian place, the fake Asian place, all next in like a food court, and the food sucks. And they've done that to all the casinos here. And my theory is that somebody is forcing the tribe's hand to go digital. That I mean, the business has dropped off the cliff. These casinos used to be packed. They're just not. They don't get the business they used to. And it's because they suck. They treat people like crap.
Right.
I mean, the list goes on.
Wait, Osada, here. I got to show you. Why we're talking about this. Ready?
Okay.
Here. I've saved this, Osada. I've saved this. Wait. This was one of the things, they gave. Let me hook this up so I could show you. Okay, let me get up. Ready? One thing they threw me when I was walking out of the casino, because it was cold one time. Look at that. Trump Plaza, double extra large, Atlantic City. Look at that sweatshirt.
That's awesome.
Look at that bad boy, Osada.
That's way cool.
Okay? Those are the gifts. I remember laying in bed one time. My good body calls me. You ready to go? 0 degrees out. Blizzard. The Bills just played the Eagles. We ran into the Jills on the way in. He goes, you want to go? The first thing I thought about, yeah, let's go to our favorite seafood place at the Trump. Let's go have our T-bone steak. I didn't think about gambling. I thought about all the good time I was going to have gambling. You know what I mean? I didn't go down there going, wow, I'm going to lose. I'm going to do this. I went down there going, I'm going to be treated like a king. I'm going to enjoy myself and lose money, but I'm going to have a good time. See, that era, that is gone now. So
it is. And it's sad. It's sad because it was so much fun. I had so much fun in the casinos in my early 20s,
Yes.
Great times.
And the fights, Osada, the Atlantic Mike Tyson fights, the fights were incredible. They had 3 fights every week.
Yeah, I remember being, when I worked at Muckleshoot, say even the early 2000s, we'd have some of those fights on, or the early John Jones UFC fights, and we'd show the fight. It would be packed in there, just packed.
Yep.
It ain't like that no more.
No, I mean, the night of the Holyfield Foreman, the first fight, I was there. The next day, we're at Caesar's Palace having lunch with our friends. The next thing we knew, we walk out, we're looking, we were on ABC's Wide World of Sports. I can't remember the fight, But it was during the afternoon. ABC Wide World of Sports was going, and there we all were sitting in a horseshoe booth eating lunch during the fights.
That's awesome.
Incredible. I mean, shit like that used to happen. My father called me that night. I'll never forget it. I got a phone call at the desk. It was my father. He goes, "You sick bastard." He goes, "You were all over the TV today." I said, "What?" He goes, "I'm watching ABC Wide World of Sports. They're Tootie, Cheech. You were all sitting there eating." He goes, "I was going nuts." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Yep.
That is great.
Yeah, you can't make this kind of shit up, bro. I mean, I was like, "All right, I'll see you." The first thing he told me, "Keep the money and get out of there," you know. But yeah, you were right about it all with this gambling. I just had to come up today because I heard you the other day saying this. And I'm like, those are pivotal points right there with gambling. Yep.
Yeah, it's something I pay attention closely to. You know, it's because I see it on the horizon with you hitting our phones. And, you know, I hate to say it, but even like you and me are going to have to be careful because
yeah.
It's just like social media. It's gonna be worse than social media.
Coltrane, let me say it out loud. Shut up.
He's been busting your balls this whole time.
No, he still has his umbilical cord. You're an asshole. All right, go ahead, Osada. Great show. I wanted to talk about this on my show forever, but there's no one to talk with. You know what I mean? There's really no one to hit on it like me and you just did. But good stuff. And
no, thank you. Great conversation. Come up anytime. Yes. I appreciate it.
All right, Goomba. Stop by later. Have a good show, and I'll talk to you.
Okay, have a good one. All right, that was awesome. All right. Well, it's already almost 4:00, so I think. I kind of wanted to get to the Candace thing, but she's going to be back on again today. So I'll go live again tomorrow and regroup my things. But yeah, no, that was a great conversation. I know Tommy wanted to come up. He was up for a second. Then he must have had to get back to work, quote unquote work. So yeah, no, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Best Men's Clothes and Caesars, I would sign for everything. Yeah, see, those were the days, man. I mean, I remember on my 21st birthday, we went to Reno. I hadn't been to Vegas yet. I've been to Vegas like 15 times now, but you know, the first thing I wanted to do was play blackjack. We didn't have casinos in Washington. We all worked at a bingo hall, but we didn't have casinos. I didn't even check my bags in yet. And I started gambling blackjack. And I remember, you know, running into a couple people that came down. They're like, "Come on, man, let's go." You know, there was just so many things to go do. They wanted to get the fuck out of it. They didn't want me to be gambling right now. You know, like we're about to go party. And it's not like that anymore, you know. Invite Vinny on your show to talk about gambling thing, too. Vinny's got a background. You know what I'm talking about, you? Best dry cleaners there. Yep. You know, the thing about the casinos too is like back in the day, like if you knew how to carry yourself and you knew how to take care of people and tip, that's something that we didn't touch on, Thindu. You know, that would open the doors to there's a whole nother level of experience. And I mean a whole nother level of experience. If you know how to take care of people back in the day in Vegas, and probably Atlantic City was the same way, you know, you would just get super taken care of, you know. Like I remember, we would get picked up, you know, we went there, one year we were getting picked up in stretch limousines on the strip, you know, word got out that we were tippers, you know. And they would just come pick us up, like, "Hey, you guys need a ride? Where you want to go?" You know, boom, boom, boom. And that was like 2007. You know, back in the 60s and the 70s, it was probably fucking awesome back in Vegas. But Anyway, great show, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to get going. Tommy's show is going to start pretty soon. So we'll head over there. Have a great day at work, everyone. And I got a busy week ahead of me. I got to watch my granddaughter today, but I might go out selling Wednesday. I'm definitely going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I might go out Wednesday too because it's Halloween week, so it's game time. All right. Peace out, everyone. Great show. And CG2, I don't know if I ever said hi to you. I'm sorry. We were so busy talking. Thank you for stopping by. And glad you came in and hope you enjoyed the show.